we now hear from the lady who started the very Asian hashtag, Michelle Lee news anchor. So Michelle Lee, who is a news anchor with KSD in St. Louis, received a call on New Year's Day from a viewer who complained about her mentioning dumpling soup. The viewer called Michelle Lee very Asian, which Michelle Lee countered that by making it a hashtag and using it to for Asians to be proud of being an Asian. And as politicians, journalists, celebrities, influencers, and social media users showed support and shared their own stories. So Michelle Lee ended up on Ellen DeGeneres show on Wednesday when she received the seed funding to start the Very Asian Foundation, an organizing that will amplify Asian American Pacific Islander voices. So that unidentified viewer said, as a recap, hi, this evening your Asian anchor mentioned something about being Asian and Asian people eating dumplings on New Year's Day. I kinda take offense that because that one of your white anchors said, well, white people eat on this New Year's Day. I don't think it's very appropriate that she said that. Well, and then a person continued, well, she was being very Asian. I don't know. She can't keep her Korean to herself. All right, sorry. If it was annoying that if a white person would say that, they would get fired. So say something about what white people eat. All right, thank you. So that person was like basically making an excuse. Why don't you keep your Asianness to yourself, and why don't you talk about what white people do? And which Michelle Lee, she had the right to mention whatever she did on New Year's Day, and of course, on New Year's Day, we all eat something different on and we have a right to say yeah. And technically, if a white person said that, and they would not get fired. So like, and the others were like, "Oh, so you ate that on this day? So okay, cool. So what did you?" And it turned to another person, one of their colleagues, and oh, so what did you eat on that day? Or they ask us some other question just to be friendly with each other, with their colleagues. And of course, after Michelle Lee received so many support and hours. And she also mentioned on that to Next Shark that to see people I admire to tweet their opinions or personal stories was surreal. Some of them reached out personally, and some of them even gave advice on a way forward to continue the momentum. And she said she was very humbled to receive such a degree of support. And people took to social media who are Asian or Asian American or living in North America, sharing countless photos of their family and culture, owning that their heritage and taking pride in themselves for being very Asian with the hashtag very Asian. And she was worried that she was gonna end up getting fired for starting that, but she was proud that she made people, so many Asians, feel better about their Asian heritage. And so Michelle Lee, she's Korean American, and of course one of those people who had to deal with racism in her life. And so she was adopted and raised by a white family in Missouri, and able to reconnect with her Korean family in 1998. And after meeting her parents, she went to incorporate Korean culture into her life, but she had to deal with racism and discrimination for too long. But she'd had to deal with some people calling her Connie Chung, Trisha Takanawa, Michelle Kwan, and some other racist words. And of some Asian racial slurs, which probably included the C word, and someone called her a gook, which she laughed at the person because gook actually means soup. And she also said, if you're calling me another Asian slur, you showed your ignorance about who I am. And of course, another day from Memorial Day celebration, some woman assumed she was Japanese at that. And what that woman told her producer, get that Jap off the air. How dare you disrespect our country? And then there were some excuses telling she couldn't work at a news station because they already had one Asian anchor. And they think, oh, they confuse the viewer. And there was that people to change their name because if the name is too hard to pronounce, because if it's not an English name, people always may make that assumption that why don't you not go adopt an English name, and with that assimilation that all people, foreigners should, if they immigrate to North America, they should assimilate to Western culture and all that crap. And Michelle Lee believes every single Asian American Pacific Islander journalist has experienced something similar, but they do not feel supported enough to share their what they have experienced. And then even some people had thrown money at her and asked me to love them long time. and someone threw a box of rice at her, and then some boys were who drove up to the school she went to, and with Confederate flags, and one boy even told her that his dad didn't want her to date him because of they would have mixed kids, because some people don't like biracial kids. And then some people were telling, and then some Koreans in USA told her it was a shame she was adopted, and that her family was Korean family was made of terrible people, and that she was a broken person, and she actually went through a lot, even because of other Korean Americans that are also living in that the USA, that she had to deal with that racism. And Ellen DeGeneres gave Michelle the a $15,000 check to be used to kickstart the Very Asian Foundation. So yeah, she has her foundation has a website supporting Asian American Pacific Islanders, sells merchandise, and they also support the Asian American Journalists Association and Stop Asian American Pacific Islanders Hate. And she ended up encountering with that racist caller. As the person who said it, a woman apparently, had took the time to find a station number and make left a voicemail, and which really made Michelle Lee very emotional, and she said she would meet up with the woman when coronavirus regulations are more safer. And she had to deal with people saying she being too white, too Asian, too big, too small, too loud, too submissive, too momish, or not American enough, not Asian enough. And all she wanted to do was just support other Asians who also went through the same situation as her. And it's a great thing that she ended up kickstarting the Very Asian Foundation, and this is also helping Asian Americans Because right now, Asians are not getting the support that they are getting enough, and black people are getting the more support now, even from YouTube and Facebook, if you actually see it. And since a lot of hate are going towards Asians still, we still need a lot of support. So, if you see an Asian person being targeted or a group of Asian people, please step in, support them, and if they're being targeted or in public or cyber, always report it. And for any post, use the hashtag Stop Asian Hate, and if you're Asian helping another Asian, use both and hashtag Stop Asian Hate and hashtag Variation. Be proud of being Asian if you are, and also if you're not Asian, please give us support.